Hi there, I'm Daniel Dale, a CNN Fact Check reporter. President Donald Trump and his administration have made a pretty comprehensive effort to rewrite the reality of the protests that have followed the death of George Floyd in the custody of Minneapolis police. Some of the things this president and his team have said have been wildly inaccurate. Listen to this smear, for example, of the peaceful protesters who were forcibly cleared out of the way on Monday to make way for Trump to have a photo op outside a D.C. church.
Somebody said, oh, they were so peaceful. Well, they tried to burn down the church the day before and almost succeeded. And the church was badly hurt.
This is the president assigning collective guilt to hundreds of people based on nothing at all. Number one, CNN's cameras and journalists and others saw protesters being peaceful on Monday. Number two, we have no idea who set that fire in the church basement the day prior, and there's no evidence that anyone who was out there on Monday was responsible. Even if one person who was out there on Monday did commit the crime, there's no evidence that anyone else out there on Monday was responsible. Now, the president got even more inflammatory on Thursday. He shared a tweet that called the protesters out there on Monday not only phony, but quote-unquote terrorists. Again, no evidence for that whatsoever. The president has also tried to portray Antifa, a loose collection of self-described anti-fascists, as the key player in the violence surrounding these largely peaceful protests.
The violence and vandalism is being led by Antifa and other radical left-wing groups who are terrorizing the innocent, destroying jobs, hurting businesses, and burning down buildings.
Now, it's absolutely possible there has been some Antifa role in the violence. We've heard similar allegations from law enforcement officials. But Trump has not provided any evidence that they are the lead player or that the violence is being organized or led by any single group. Law enforcement officials have told CNN they believe extremists across the political spectrum have been present. Trump has not talked, for example, about the alleged involvement of far-right extremists, such as the 3 alleged far-right extremists who were arrested this very week on terror charges for allegedly plotting violence during the protests in Las Vegas. Now, we also had a case this week where the official White House Twitter feed spread egregious propaganda in its zeal to blame Antifa. The White House posted a compilation of video clips that it claimed showed that, quote, Antifa and professional anarchists are invading our communities, staging bricks and weapons to instigate violence. These are acts of domestic terror. It turned out that a whole bunch of these clips of these supposedly suspicious, supposedly Antifa-placed bricks had already been debunked. These bricks were on the street for construction projects. Now, the most egregious clip showed a barrier filled with rocks on the street in Los Angeles. Why were those rocks there? A Los Angeles synagogue had explained on Facebook a couple days prior that this was their security barrier, their anti-terror barrier. In other words, this was the White House suggesting that an anti-terror tool was a terror tool. They deleted the tweet after more than an hour.